Just to summarize, I think that one of the city councilors did a nice job of summarizing basically what we think the goals of these program changes would be to proactively address parking needs associated with downtown development projects such as Harrison Square, to optimize the use of existing parking resources, and develop a more user-friendly downtown public parking system, and support community revitalization and development goals. So, in a nutshell, that's what this program is intended to do. So, I guess we'll open it up for questions. Yeah?
One question on the license plate recognition system. I'd be curious, just for Collins, given the example that you showed, what was the investment in the dollar investment in that technology? And then, do you have any problems with your IDing a license plate? Maybe Colorado law might be different than Indiana law regarding whether that's a public thing, a public purpose, etc.
Well, I think those are all very important questions to ask before you launch into anything like that. And I can put you in touch with Randy Hensley in Fort Collins. He's got all that cost information. I probably have it on the presentation somewhere. It wasn't a huge capital investment, and again, the payback was fairly quick for them. Their police chief really loves having access to this data because he uses it in a lot of different ways. Mostly for Amber Alerts and things like that, stolen vehicles. When you report a stolen vehicle, they can just run a check through your system to see if this tag has been seen locally, that kind of thing. But I think there is I think your point is good to bring up the sensitivity to what is public domain information and what is, every place has different sensitivities to that stuff. Anything else? Any other questions? Yeah.
Can you comment a little bit on what you've seen in Fort Wayne in terms of congestion needs, which would be the Harrison Square opening and baseball games and downtown events versus whether we're in an increasing or decreasing mode of the number of employees and retail visitors downtown?
Well, I guess the last time we did a supply-demand study was 3 or 4 years ago, I believe, something like that. And I think that there wasn't a great, you weren't in any desperate straits regarding parking availability. In fact, you had quite a bit of parking availability. With the new ballpark, which might have 5,500, 6,000 at a game, you built about a 900 space parking structure. And I think that the numbers on that are pretty consistent with the kind of numbers that we would see, because you're going to get multiple people per car driving, and you've got other assets and options available, and you've got private assets and options available. And I know the city's been working with some of those private operators, and they've taken a very practical and pragmatic approach to talking to those other owners of parking assets and basically saying, if you want to charge for parking on your lots during game days, that's fine. If you want us to run the parking for you and share the revenues, we'll manage that for you. If you want to just close off your lot and not allow parking, that's fine too. But the worst thing you can do is just don't pay attention to it and leave it open for just anybody to park in at no cost, because that really hurts everybody in the system. And really, it just opens them up to potential liability issues and vandalism problems and maintenance problems and stuff like that. So I think, but one of the things that I've thought about in terms of congestion and potential congestion problems relative to Harrison Square is really having a traffic dispersal plan and really mapping out where we think everybody's going to park and where we're going to direct people to park, because we can control that to some degree. So we need to know where the parking resources are, where we think everybody's going to park, and then based on game day, how are we going to make sure that traffic can actually get out. The last thing you want to do is be stuck on the roof of the ballpark parking structure and it takes you an hour to get out of the structure. I don't think anybody wants that. But there are lots of strategies in terms of making that plan. I mean, typically for special events, you charge on the way in and you let it free flow out, that kind of thing. So, I mean, those kind of things need to be worked up, and I think that's what the steering committee said they wanted to see by February 15th was, kind of a defined parking and traffic dispersal plan. I don't think there's anything here that's going to cause any great problems. I don't think it's anything that can't be managed. I think you've got the assets and the resources. I think for people that know downtown and you can promote the idea of parking in some some further away areas. I think that's probably smart. I think people will start picking up on that on their own if there is traffic congestion problems getting out, say, to the ballpark garage. They'll probably pick up on that themselves. But most people will want to park as close as possible, so it just needs to be managed.